Hello and welcome to Tuesday Tryouts here with AEO, Amateur Esports Organisation, and we've got a match between Lewd Pencils and Fat Fingered Old.
Yeah, so this is Tuesday Tryouts. We've got some couple of teams coming in. We've got a few guys that we recognise Rayson Pleb. In fact, there's quite a few people in here that I do know. It's mostly Fat Fingered Old that I don't recognise.
You've got a
if you'd
couple
like
of
to
people
pick,
there.
yeah, we've got Scroody and Immune. We know those two guys. I'll probably go over Lewd Pencils. Do you know the guys from Fat Fingered Old?
I recognise Rorezu, and I think I've seen Gibbs before, but I'm not quite sure about that.
Well, we're going to do a best of 7 today. I think we're just casting these guys' games, especially because we've got such a huge amount of games going on today. It would take all night to cast them all. So we're going to be following Lewd Pencils and Fat Fingered Old. These guys have got pretty high SR, so we're going to see some intense games. And hopefully, starting on Hanamura, we might see a bit more of a less clunky engage.
It says that the first map is going to be on Numbani.
Oh, okay. Well, then Numbani's just as a exciting map, especially with all the flank routes going in. Point one's pretty much difficult to take.
Yeah, no, it certainly is. Just making sure that the teams know what map we should be on.
Yeah, of course.
Right, that's all sorted. I'm gonna hide chat. Do say that we're R when we're when they ask. By the way. So I've been back so short a time that I'm gonna have to. I haven't posted on Twitter yet that this is going on. Give me
not for a fire, so don't worry about it.
Tuesday Tryouts. All right, there we go. All right, so we're also Twitch affiliates now, as I've been just informed. We are now a fully fledged stream. You can even subscribe to AEOGG and get absolutely 0 emotes because we no, we don't have any emotes yet.
No. We need emotes.
That's true.
We definitely do need those. I think Matt needs to bring in some dabbing emotes, especially into chat. That would definitely make him happy.
We're going to be getting into the first map already, into Numbani. We see an interesting hover early on from Rorezu, but I don't think we're actually going to be seeing any of these picks come through.
No. So we'll just talk about the map for the bit. So Rock, we've got this map. It's a bit of an interesting one. A lot of corners that you can hold on. Lots of high ground to take care of. And pushing in for the streets phase, again, a lot of corners to be held, so you might see some Junkrat play here. We know that Immune can play that, and we know that, but we've got Dorea, we've got Pleb, two extremely good support players on either side of the teams. No, Dorea can handle those wings very nicely, so let's hope to see some really, really nice reses this match.
Someone I'd like to point out is Rorezu. I do know them quite well. They had a really, really strong Farah. I casted them when I was casting with Vals. He was on one of the teams, and they basically steamrolled the entire series off of his back because he was so proficient. I mean, a lot of the other players on that team were also brilliant, but he was particularly standout. And in fact, we did a strange set of bans where people, because he was subbing for a team, they said that they could ban 2 characters, which were Farah, because he was so strong on it, and also Mercy, so we could try out for the incoming nerfs that we're going to be, that we obviously see now.
Yeah, obviously the nerfs onto Mercy have been really strong, but if they were banning that Farah, then I'm very excited to see Rorezu take to the skies and hopefully rain some rockets down on the enemy team. So we're going to see them start off this match. We've got a May running in. Quite an interesting pick, but definitely can stop the enemy team from doing any damage. So they're going to see them go take the high ground on the left side of the map. We've got the majority of lewd pencils on the top side. So we're going to see Fat Fingered Ult just running through this side.
Yeah, a nice quick barrage of rockets coming out from Rorezu, getting a lot of charge very quickly, but needs to be careful about that soldier on the high ground.
So we've got a Torbjorn. I don't know why I didn't pick that up before, but again, May allowing him to set up his turrets quickly. Actually doing a lot of damage, taking down Pleb here.
You know, but some really good return shots coming out from Exlot. Managing to pick him off alongside Razon. Razon definitely having really good aim, and alongside Pusnik is going to completely shut down Rorezu. This is looking really good for them, and it's only this May, left on the point.
So we saw Pusnik take down Arasu there, and then immediately follow up by taking out the May by giving a sleep dart straight in the face. So she went down packing. So hopefully this next fight we're going to see a bit more of a controlled push in. The Torbjorn, strange play, but they have switched off that now. We've got a Tracer and we've got Immune on Genji, so we're going on a free DPS strat. So I think what they're going to try to do is flood this top side.
They're gonna have to get, but Immune finding a pick onto Xbox there is gonna be big because they're now a person down, and on this high ground it's gonna be hard to do anything. The Guardian has popped at the start of this fight. It's looking good for Lewd Pencils. They're getting a lot of healing coming through, and oh no, that pick from Rorezu is gonna be huge. Now there's no one to contest him there other than the Ana, and the Ana's gonna have a hard time to do that, to be honest with you.
We've got a devastating pick onto Soldier at the beginning there. Gibbs is going low, but has been stayed up all game by his healers. And Maresu with the 3k there onto the barrage, and Immune just picking up those last kills with the Dragon Blade.
Yeah, no, as I said, his barrages are absolutely brilliant. And he basically won that entire fight in some really intelligent barrage usage.
Yeah, you definitely got Immune there, taking up the backside with his blade. Really, really nice. And then Pleb and both tanks just got immediately demacked, and then Pleb took a lot of damage from the barrage and the rockets, which took him out of the fight early and just left the squishies.
Xbox managing to find a pick there, and that ultimate, nano ultimate coming out from Razon is looking good. If he can just get this Winston off him. Doesn't really get too much use out of, unfortunately, because they do retreat as soon as that starts happening. I mean, Darius, Kilo, all alone in this backline.
Pleb there and Darius Kilo going a little bit deep here. Xbox hoping to bring up the behind. Will take out, doing a lot of damage, pumping that into Immune, and continues to push in.
Yeah, they are being very aggressive because the spawn is right here. So this fight is eventually going to go south for Lewd Pencils. There's no point in holding this far forward, and when Immune drops that blade, that's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah, a really, really nice pulse bomb there from Barker Life, just taking out 2 of the enemy opponents, and then Immune popping up the blade and just sweeping up, really. We had Barker Life with a very nice positioning on the Tracer, and you can't really contest that, especially like you say, they're just coming out the spawn in droves, so there's not much you can do.
Well, I'm definitely looking to contest this high ground because that is going to be a major point for these hit scans, though we see that the McCree isn't actually up there with the rest of the team, which is a surprise.
No, you got Barker Life on his own. Mercy pushing in, Posh to the wings now. Pleb taking a lot of damage from Immune, will go down here. Darius Kilo all on his own, D-Mech, and is going to start be taking a lot of damage from the Zarya.
But Backer for Life is just doing so much work on this Tracer. No one is stopping him, apart from maybe Razon, but he's not really going to be able to find enough shots, and they definitely can't contest this point when they've got such a numbers advantage.
Yeah, it feels like a really tiny wall up in front. Not much you can do to get past that when Tracer's constantly throwing those bullets into your face.
Certainly don't want to end up with bullets in your face. That tends to hurt, and I think Razon found that out the hard way. Dorea going to give him a little bit of chance to repent.
We've seen Doreo with some really nice reses past games. They're going to push into this point. The payload looking very threatening now. Continues to push onto point. Pleb doing his best again, right in the middle of the enemy team. And Darius Kilo been forced to move off.
It was a good ult from Razon, and it could turn around this fight after Backer for Life found some really, really nice picks, but it's going to get completely shut down by Razon on this McCree, looking absolutely fantastic so far.
This fight we saw that Pleb just managed to get that healing that he needed, stayed in the middle, was a bit over aggressive possibly, but Dorea and his support managed to keep him up that entire fight. And Razon again, yeah, like you say, a really lovely Deadeye in the back there, no one could stop it. The enemy Diva didn't quite get the defense matrix off in time.
Razon almost actually going down to Pusnik here. Some really good shots from that Zenyatta, needs to be careful. Sorry, not Pusnik, to Scrooty, sorry. Need really be careful about him.
Seeing Pleb jump in here, does not much. Gibbs pops Primal Rage, but it's taking a lot of damage in the back. Only quarter HP. Darius Kilo goes back in the background. Pleb still has Primal Rage, though. Might be able to finish out this fight.
That was a beautiful pulse bomb from Xbox, reading that resurrection coming out from Swankenstein, and it's going to completely shut down the fight, taking out the people that were rezzed and the Rezo.
Yeah, really nice fight there coming out from Fat Finger Dult. Managed to hold them back. We're hoping that Lewd Pencils can push this in now.
Swapping onto this Reinhardt is rather important because it means that they can get past Razon and his massive amount of damage on this McCree.
Definitely with Pleb jumping every time. Nice to have those hammers hitting him back.
That's an interesting Graviton Rorezu. You're going to get away with it because your team is that far ahead, but not exactly what you want to be using it for. Hitting absolutely nothing.
Definitely not. They won't have this for the next fight now either. Very nicely. Dodges the pulse bomb there by popping the ulti, so not going to keep him up for too long though. Dorea will try his best to keep him in the fight. Managed to just barely escape with the skin of his teeth. Immune will continue to push onto him now though. Scrooty taken down. X-Locks, a really lovely ball there coming out there, and they continue to push him.
Yeah, this dive DPS duo has been absolutely fantastic, and it looks like they're just going to push their team all the way through. Pleb trying to delay, but he's not really going to have much time to do that.
No, you see, Dorea and X-Lock hit by that Earth Shatter, really lovely, and the charge will take them both down here, and it's just up to Scrooge to keep his team alive. Pusnik comes on point as Zenyatta will take a lot of damage. We're seeing Gibbs try to get onto point. Pleb jumping in the background, but we'll just let the point go to the enemy team, and that is round one complete there.
I'd like to point out that Razon tried to make a clutch play and actually save his team, but there was not enough time, and he didn't have enough health, to be honest. They focused him as soon as he popped that ult. He managed to get another kill, but went down in short order.
Yeah. So again, Sakechi here telling us in chat that it's Daya, not Dorea. Really, and is frustrating him, but we will take that out. So we're going to continue with Daya. That is how we'll say it from now on. Do apologize, chat. My mistake.
Apologies to Daria. We're going to be seeing Pustanich on this Ana, which I really rate this Ana, to be honest with you. They ran it on, I think, defense just on this first point as well, and I think they feel like it's a very strong point for it.
Yeah, Lou Pencils, they've been doing really well with Ana in the background. Managed to take out Reresu in the beginning, putting on the hurt on the enemy team. Didn't see too many back grenades come out, but I'm sure they were just as good. The sleep darts were quite effective, but really what I want to see here is I want to see Pleb play a bit of more reserved monkey, especially in this upcoming fight, because you see him jump in and he just doesn't get too much done, takes a lot of damage, and it is up to Daya and Pusnik to kind of keep him alive at this point, and they're doing much of the work that he shouldn't be putting them in.
It's a very interesting change in how you play monkey, as it's changed over multiple metas. So the original way that you would play main tank is that you'd actually be one of the top priorities for healing. But as we went away from Ana's meta, and you could be really aggressive and you'd manage to survive everything. But as we went away from the Ana meta, you had to play a more reserved monkey and be a little bit more sensible about your engages.
Yeah, definitely. It seems like Pleb is playing in the past a little bit, so hopefully he'll make it a little bit easier on his team now and let Darius Kilo engage with that Diva Matrix. So they're going to push onto the left side point, which is a pretty interesting play, quite standard here, Rock. Hopefully they can do something with it before the Fat Fingered Up can reposition.
Razon putting a lot of pressure onto Immune early on, and Gibbs managing to find Darius is going to be big, because trying to walk in now without that Diva is going to be very hard, and that's why we see Daria going down.
So a lot of them going down here. Razon and Daria go down, so that's a Fire Mercy taking out the fight, and that's a lot of pressure taking off Fat Fingered Up, so they can just sit back here, hunker down, and reposition on this point.
Yeah, but Lewd Pencils are having quite the struggle to get through here, and I don't feel like it's well advised to actually try and push through here. They've got so much damage coming in. They might as well just try a different way, but Pleb is just going to dive right on in. Goes pretty low, manages to stay alive because of a great biotic nade, and gets nano boosted right away. Bomb hits absolutely nothing. Gibbs goes down.
Yeah, Gibbs just about surviving there, but not for too long before Darius Killer picks him up. Arresto doing damage to Pusnik here, taking him out of the fight now. Just Rayson, it's up to Rayson, has a Mercy on top of him as well, and Arresto's just going to stay on point. Backer for life, taking a lot of damage, and there goes the self-destruct, not taking down anyone.
Didn't really do too much, but maybe we're going to see Swankenstein actually get out here. Does just in time. No! He has that monkey right on top of him, and Pleb pips him and picks him up. That's a really good stagger.
So Blue Pencils here will take the point. Very nice in the background. You saw a lot of damage going up in the front. The pressure was on. Just allowed him to take the point without much contest. So very nicely done from Blue Pencils there. Finally got a foothold onto the point, and now it's going to push through onto the streets phase. With the stagger as well, like you were saying, Rock, they're going to have an easy time pushing it down this first road.
Yeah, Raison now has barrage, so they've got to be careful about that. It's quite the ult advantage on the side of Blue Pencils. Xloc's going to start to cash in that economy that they have. Backer for life going down to Raison. Raison with a really nice barrage, picking up both of those hit scan players, and now actually gets taken out by Scrutey. You'd think once you take down the hit scan, you'd be fine, but it's going to be a Transcendence being forced out from Scrutey after he was very far forward.
Yeah, Arresto bringing out a very nice ulti there, but was denied by Pleb, and that Winston shield placed just on top of it. They're going to continue to push in here, and the monkey battle will be won by Pleb. Frankenstein doing his best to keep everyone up, will get a very nice Beatic grenade right on him. The arc on that was beautiful, and will take him out of the fight.
And it's going to be just Rorezu trying to stall here alongside his 2 DPS who were staggered, so that's why we see them as the only remaining players. And this bomb managed to pick up Daria. You really need to be checking out for that, Daria. You were not paying enough attention, and as a result, you're going to go down here.
Yeah, you've seen Xlox do some wonderful work in the background there on Soldier especially. Continues to put the pain down onto Pleb, onto Gibbs now, and is still pushing him. Will go down to 17 HP, but will be forced to back out.
But they've taken this streets phase with very little contest coming out here, and now they're going to be moving on to the source point. They are down quite a few ultimates. The ult advantage is definitely in favor of Fat Fingered ult, and that's what we're looking for them to use here to actually try and stabilize this point. But again, Rorezu caught out, just about going to survive though.
Yeah, Gibbs pushing onto Plebs now, but taking a lot of damage from Darius Kilio. Gets pulled in by Rorezu, but it's not enough. And Gibbs just in the background taking a lot of damage from Rayson, and Pleb doing his best to get him off his supports. Daria will finally go down to the attack visor. Attack visor taking out Pleb as well as an Immune getting that nice shot onto Darius Kilio there.
No, Backer for life looking really good in the Soldier, especially when he doesn't have to aim. That makes it really good.
Yeah, of course. Especially when Xbox is not giving him a hard time. Looks like he has been able to pick up the kills here.
Going to stagger out Raison, but we're going to be seeing switch-ups coming out from Gibbs. No longer running that monkey, now going on to that Reinhardt.
Yeah, a smart play there. I think Gibbs has been having a hard time playing that monkey correctly, and going to a bit more of a standard pick like Reinhardt is going to help the defense and also keep that plays a little bit more reserved here. Xbox picking up the kill onto Immune, and that's going to begin the fight now.
It's also a great pick because they read that Pleb was going to swap onto this Reinhardt, but it doesn't really help them too much in the end. They don't utilize this advantage they have very well, and Raison just picks off everyone. Absolutely fracking out. Madman.
Really, really nice. Spotted that soldier and took him down. Immune in the background there, trying to get off a sneaky little Deadeye, but not managing to. Immediately going down there to the Deadeye that was left on point, and they're just doing their best. The Transcendence comes out. Scrudy will be going down here. And again, a lovely Bardic grenade onto Swankenstein, taking him immediately out the fight.
Yeah, Immune not finding the same sort of success with his, and he's going to go down straight away, and that's going to be a really quick hold if they can just get rid of Gibbs.
Yeah, we see Swankenstein running as fast as onto point, but he's not quite the athlete and can't quite make it.
And that's going to be 2.5, is it? 2.5-ish minutes?
Yeah, it's not bad. So they got 2 minutes 40 to go, whereas I think they've only got 1 minute left. We saw them make a really nice push on this first point, but looks like Blue Pencils have sprung right back, and could be an interesting come out for this next game. We'll see if they can make those epic legendary pushes all the way down to the third point with only 1 minute remaining, but it's looking doubtful.
Yeah, they were looking a little bit weaker on those on the streets phase and the subsequent last point.
Yeah, we see Raison doing a really good job on McCree there. Doing what McCree does best, being a sharpshooter, knew the targets they needed to take out. I'd just like to point out that Pusnik had a lovely, lovely back grenades every fight straight onto Mercy in the background. She couldn't heal up as she was running around, and just up to Immune to get a couple of shots off that would finally take her out the fight in the end.
I'm really liking the way the teams are using Anna, to be honest with you. I'm a big fan of Anna in general, and seeing more teams putting her into their comps is just brilliant.
Yeah, and it's preventing Raresu from going on that Pharah that you were saying was very strong. We saw it in the first point. Did pick up a lot of kills, but Anna just created a lot of problems for her in the air when you have a perfect sniper taking you down all the time.
We're going to be seeing a low ground push here from Puffinggold. They're found out straight away by a really good scout from Xbox.
Immune sitting in the background here, trying his best to scout out the enemy team. We see Back for Life going around the right side. Darius Killer is going to be waiting for him though. That's a very scary thing to run into. They're going to try push round. They've not taken too much damage here. Immune is very low though. Will be forced to push out the fight, and Arasu's taking a lot of damage as well.
But at this exact moment that he's pushed out of the fight, Gibbs makes a dive, which seems very ill-advised. They should have waited a couple more seconds, and now they're going to have a really split push because they're going to have to wait for this stagger. And when Swankenstein dies so late in the fight, that's just going to be terrible for them. And Immune is going to go down here in a short order.
Back for Life doing his absolute best to try and get onto, but Immune getting the double kill there onto Pleb, which might just give them the power they need to push onto this point. Immediately going onto Pusnik here. Gibbs versus him is going to be strong, but Pusnik's holds his ground up there.
Yeah, Immune had 2 HP in a dream, and he certainly made it work until Raison pops this ult, and he's going to completely shut down this final push. This is looking terrible for Fat Fingered ult.
Really strange target acquisition there from the soldier. Not killing the Zenyatta might have been a mistake, but they will hold this anyway. Really nice push from Xlox. Now it's just up to them to try and take this first point, which I don't think will be too hard with 2 minutes 40 on the clock.
We're going to be going in, and I expect to see at least one more Anna. It'll be interesting to see if the teams run that Reinhardt that we've already seen, or whether they're going to go with this Winston right at the start of the fight. The blue team, Lewd Pencils, do have a lot of time, so they could go for this Reinhardt.
We see Urasu picking up the Bastion, so it doesn't look like they have anything to deal with that other than Darius Killer. But again, it's still, although Deflect is really amazing versus the Bastion, it's not often that you can get right in front of him, pop the deflect, and expect him to shoot into you, especially at his level of SR. So we'll see what Darius Killer can do, and maybe the quick switches come out onto Junkrat to try and defend versus the Bastion pick. But even Pusnik with the nice sleep dart could change the way this fight goes.
Yeah, no. Baretu, however, actually going to this Junkrat, and I think this Junkrat's going to be really big for him. He did have a lot of prowess on that character. Generally a very good projectile player, so I'll be excited to see how that goes.
He's a little bit late to the point, but we'll get on there nice and easy. They are going to try read this push underneath the low ground, try to take the high ground above, and when they come out, they're going to have a bad time. So it looks like they are going to go through mid, which is a smart play by Lewd Pencils. Pleb running up on the left side, trying to keep him away from as much damage as possible. Racer's just going to sit on it, and they're going to let him do it as well. Defense mate's just come out, but he's got the disc on and taking all the damage. Pleb jumps in, and this is going to begin the fight for Lewd Pencils.
Pleb goes down right away. So much damage coming out of burst from Rorezu. They really need to be careful about that, and he needs to be careful about these dive DPS because they're going to deal so much damage to him. But luckily, Gibbs and Scrooty are there for him.
Really clutch play coming out there from Scrooty, jumping in the background, taking out the Tracer. Darius Killer will go down here to the enemy team. That really actually changed the way the fight progressed, especially when Scrooty went and got the nice headshot onto Xlox. Kind of took the pressure off him in the background, and they could just push out onto Lewd Pencils.
We're going to see another push coming out here. The team has grouped up again. Still haven't decided to do any sort of swapping. They're going to continue with the same comp. Going to see Pusnik in this backline, keeping Pleb heavy, healthy, along with Daria. But this ultimate coming out from Swankenstein alongside a good hook from Back of Alive is going to completely end this fight so far, and it's going to come down to a load of picks, and Razon with an ultimate like that, alongside the rest of your team just getting so many kills, is going to completely tick this over, and that's a win. Out of
That's
nowhere.
the win for Lewd Pencils. Really, really nice. We saw Darius Keelio come around the back there, switched off onto the Genji, had his blade ready, took out the 2 supports in the back, really changed this fight. And I think we might actually see it here.
Yeah, genuinely. Some really great Dragon Blade kills coming out from Darius Keelio. Missing a couple of swings there, actually. I think I saw some better fights coming out from him, actually, early in this match. But that'll do, that'll do. It was an important fight.
Did keep himself away from a lot of the damage, pushed himself behind the enemy team. The Dragon Blade was actually nice. Not too many hits from it, but managed to create a lot of pressure and space for Lewd Pencils, allowing them to take the point and deal with anyone who was running up towards it.
Indeed. So we're going to be going to the next map, which is Hanamura. I'm quite excited to see Hanamura. I think we'll see some more of those sort of cheesy picks like the Torbjorn we saw. Maybe we'll see a Mei. I think Mei is actually really strong on this map, and it's less of a cheesy pick, more of a niche pick.
Yeah, definitely, especially on the first point with that huge gate that you need to get through. You just need to be wary of they're coming through this small hole in the side and pushing around the left side of the map, because if you're not ready for that, they can just come on point and snowball from there. Should be interesting to see. I'm excited to see some more play off from Pleb and Gibbs onto the Monkeys. Perhaps a Reinhardt here, but that would get picked up by a Mei pretty quickly.
Perhaps we'll see a Reinhardt on the defense, because it is still strong there. Or maybe an Orisa. They're also very strong. And we've seen some good Roadhog play so far. I think on Lewd Pencils it was. No, it was on Fat Finger from... Who was it? I think it was Gib? I don't know. I can't remember who we saw it on, but yeah.
It was Ruesu.
All right, we seem to be all ready. We're going to be getting to Hanamura straight away. So here we are. Transition back over. There we go. And now you can see the beautiful arcade in all of its glory.
Yeah, indeed. We're going to quickly see all these machines broken as the players take their anger out on them as per usual. But hopefully we're going to see a nice match here. It's a really nice, heavily aggressive match, especially going to the second point. Me and Rock here have seen a lot of quick engages, quick pushes. One mistake especially, we saw a soldier dominating and then getting hooked, and then that been over the fight. So we really need to see a solid defense, especially on the second capture point.
This map does have some very important high grounds, much like the one that I'm looking at right now on the side with the near the Mega Health. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do. A very strong push through there would be causing a lot of havoc for the enemy team. Who have we got attacking first? So we have actually... Fat Fingered Ult will be attacking first versus Lewd Pencils. We've seen Lewd Pencils, we've seen they can put up a big fight. Not the best of defenses, was they were actually able to push to the third point in the last game, just with less time. So maybe we'll see a bit more of a strong defense. X-Locks on the Tracer. Interestingly, you do see the Tracers on defense these days. Very nice for pushing around the backside as they push in. So maybe this is more of a comp that's going to look at waiting for the team to come in and then clearing up house as they throw themselves into the way of the death ball.
Yeah, and we see both teams running a Reinhardt here. I feel like that's an important thing to highlight because they are going to have to now fight this shield war. In fact, we're going to see quadruple tank, and we're going to see the Winston diving right away. It's a very aggressive Reinhardt, and all of his friends definitely grouping up together like that. So much charge on him.
A really nice Barter grenade there, taking the healing away from Back for Life, but not capitalizing on it. Rayson goes down. Pleb puts a really nice shield up there, and will continue the fight through this.
Yeah, Pleb's going to go down here in a moment due to Immune with so much damage. He's at 100% charge and almost kills Daria. Really nice play so far from Immune, and I've been really impressed. The rest of the team, a little bit lackluster. Back for Life does stay alive, but not the greatest Roadhog I've ever seen in my life.
Rayson may be pushing a bit too far, and he's going to make a bit of an upset for his team because they know they can push in now without fear of damage from the soldier, but looks like they are just going to stay back and wait for this Roadhog to be back alive again.
They do have that spawn advantage, so it is not a terrible idea. And Back Alive does actually have that ultimate, so you need to be careful for that if you are on this Loot Fences team. Shatter though for Pleb is going to be huge. But that ultimate coming out from Darius Kilo is going to be huge if they can actually capitalize on it, but they can't. The ultimate coming onto that soldier, but he's not able to really deal any damage to them until he pops his ult and finds two just at the end there.
Raison picking up both the healers there. They're going to have to remove themselves to the point because they have no staying power about the healing. Back for Life will go down and die. Will bring up Raison again, ready for the next fight. This repositioning and restabilizing from Lou Pencils has been immense on this first point. Not been able to push in too far at all. Back for Life did a really nice whole hog to push them off the team. Gibbs definitely knowing when to keep his shield up. But we see Pleb and Gibbs, both of their ultimates, and Immune waiting on this grab. So could be down to those two to see how this next fight plays out.
Oh, what a beautiful shatter from Pleb. That's looking huge, and he's probably going to pick up maybe 1 to 2 kills. Gibbs doing a return shatter, but there's no one to capitalize it really on his team, and it feels a little bit irrelevant.
Pleb definitely the superior Reinhardt there. Throws out his Reinhardt shatter, taking down 4 players, and then Gibbs with that sore ultimate coming out, just being quite sad, and Resu killing himself in the process, just to let him know how upset he is with this Reinhardt right now.
We're going to be seeing Immune, however, on this Zarya with the ultimate, so that could be a good setup if they can actually follow up on it. It's going to be
Back for Life is on 69%, but we'll switch off onto Genji. That's nothing to follow up on the Graviton, so they might have to wait a good 30 seconds for Immune to pull for Back for Life to bring up his ultimate.
That's a good ultimate coming out, but they can't. They do actually manage to find some good kills. Back for Life dashing right on through and showing that, you know, Genji's a pretty good follow-up even without Dragonblade.
Yeah, definitely. Really, really nice play there. Xlox is going to be by himself, going to try and buy some time on the point. Is actually doing a really good job, but will be finally taken down there. And I think that's the first point going to Fat Fingered Ult. Really nice there. Immune popped the grav. Maybe they shouldn't have died so quickly and so easily at that grav without anything on top of it. We were discussing yesterday how we saw a lot of gravs that no one capitalized on, but we're seeing capitalization on these grav ults today a lot. So this is really nice to see some good plays coming out from Fat Fingered Ult right now.
I think the difference is yesterday was Pugs, and this is now teams playing together as far as I'm aware. So,
yeah, definitely.
I mean, they are trying out new players, so there could be something, but Darius Kilo with a great ultimate, and Xlox going to drop that bomb right on there, and that is a massive ult combo that's going to completely wipe them in a team kill.
Yeah, very, very clunky engage up those stairs, and Darius Killer just took advantage of it, saw it coming, threw down the Graviton. Sadly, Immune couldn't pick up the defense matrix and eat that grav. And 4Xlox will throw down that bomb and just take out 3. Really, really nice play from them.
Raison looking for this ultimate. He's looking for a kill with this ultimate specifically, sorry. He's got that infra sight, but no one's really peeking him. Oh, almost finds Scritchy there. A little bit dangerous. Darren.
So I'm going to see them just looking through the bottom point now. Not doing too much, waiting for ultimates to come up. Back for Life definitely has Dragonblade. Will rush straight onto Dari there, but he will get out as quickly as possible. Anarol onto Back for Life, pops this Dragonblade, but Raison is picking up their supports, but taking out 2 with the Dragonblade there. Really lovely play, and the Shatter goes down, but won't take down too much.
Yeah, no, really great play from Back from Life. It's going to help snowball this point. Still being contested though. Daria, going pretty low, but has that inherent healing to keep them alive. Immune finally taking
really good job at stalling that out there, pushing them off the point, forcing them to position, but very nicely. The self-destruct goes down, doesn't take out quite anyone, and plays back on point to put that pressure on.
Immune, 40 half health, is however going to dive right onto Raison and takes Raison out. Some really nice play from them. On 13 HP, gonna manage to get a bit of it healing. But right in his face. Immune peak very aggressive, especially onto a nano boosted pleb. And a great shout from him is going to completely shut down this fight, I believe.
That's been the key player here, keeping up the keeping the dream alive, making sure no one can get under point, and Raison will pick up the Reaper, push them off his point, but immediately get taken down by Raison. Resu, picking up a really nice shot onto him. Swankenstein will go down, Dario will be picked up on the Moira, and Back for Life, no HP, throwing out those blades. Lovely done by him.
Yeah, no, but Pleb comes in and finds a couple of really nice hits, managing to clutch out that point after it looked so good for Back of Life in the crew.
Yeah, Pleber's been maybe the dying hero of this fight. He's got a couple of kills, made sure that they couldn't quite push it on, died, and then come back again, that lovely shatter, and then dies again, and then finally in the last fight, a really nice fire strike taking out 2 of the enemy players.
Pleb will always be there for you in your time of need, and he certainly proved that here.
I'm surprised he doesn't feature on Friends.
Well, no one ever told him life was going to require for him to get absolutely monstrous on this Reinhardt, and he's going to have to get his hammer right onto Immune.
Aresi pushing in here. Darius Kilo using his defense matrix to completely negate any damage coming out from him. Will take down Immune here, and Aresi will go down to X-Locks from a nice little headshot.
Pleb, however, still sitting on this point. Going to be pretty much alone there. Finally finds a little bit of healing. If he can. Yeah, there we go.
So 1 minute 16 on the clock. Not much time to push in. They do have 90% on Immune. Scrudy does have Transcendence this next point, but the ult economy is looking very, very nice on Loop Pencils. They just need a little bit more charge to push it back up, and then they should all have a lot of ults. X-Locks just about having Pulse Bomb here. Gonna have to use it very carefully in this next fight.
Raison finding some good shots. Gonna almost be up to his ultimate. This Transcendence is an interesting use to engage from Scrooty. The rest of this team really isn't going to find too much. This High Noon, however, could be really bad for this team. Rorezu going down, though, to Darius Kilo is really big. This Primal Rage isn't really doing all too much, though. Managed to finally find Razer.
Lovely self-destruct on the top side, takes out both the healers. They're not going to have to stay on point anymore now, and as the Loop Pencils will return from spawn, they're just going to get slowly pushed back and pushed down. 20 seconds might just be enough time for one very final push before Loop Pencils might take this first point.
The Loop Pencils have looked pretty strong on this defense. Darius Kilo definitely doing a lot of work. A little bit disappointing from Immune. Couldn't really find anything with their self-destruct. So, a little bit disappointed there.
Yeah, Darius Kilo's making some really nice plays. Took Reresu out before he could use his ultimate. Going into point, Rayson will pop his ultimate here. X-Locks picking up the kill onto Scrooty, taking out the Orb of Discord and Orb of Healing, which they really need to take down Darius Kilo right now. Pleb just staying on point, will go down. Immune not quite demeched yet, will be taken down, and it's just up to Darius Kilo to make the little water pistol fight here. Rayson finally taking everyone down.
Some brilliant play from Rayson. I always said Rayson there on the high ground. He's been an absolutely brilliant soldier in pretty much every game we've seen. Really solid hits and DPS, and has really performed in every time he's needed to.
Yeah, really nice that, especially Rock, you were saying about his positioning and how he's really a great player, but we saw him on the top side, but he didn't jump down too early, stayed up there, knew he had the good positioning, knew they weren't coming up on the left side to try flank him, just stayed up there, looked down the sights and picked up those kills. Rayson, though, I would quite like to see him. That would be one hell of a player.
Certainly can play both hit scan and the projectiles. Rayson, not a slouch on the Pharah, but not quite as spectacular as we've seen from Rorezu.
No, but we see Rayson on the soldier a lot. He can play tanks just as well. But we're going to see the second point. Hopefully, Fat Fingered Ult can make a bit more of a more established defense, I would say, rather than last game where they kind of got steamrolled onto the last point.
But we're going to be seeing Gibbs on this May, which is kind of interesting. This isn't a last-ditch attempt that they're going for here, but they are still deciding to run this, and I think that's because it can be used to such effect to split the team with that wall.
Yeah, if the enemy team doesn't know how to deal with the May, it can create a lot of confusion for the enemy team when they try to run in and then their tanks getting blocked off on the enemy side. Hopefully, because this is an organized team, however, they might just have a little bit more of a better understanding how to deal with this.
And I do appreciate the Christmas skin coming up from Gibbs, even though it's not quite Christmas anymore.
It's February, only 2 months away from Christmas, I guess.
Only 2 months, you know. Or 10 months, you know, if you're looking at the other way.
Depending on how you look at it.
Yeah. Scrooty looking to try and get some damage on this Zenyatta. He has been doing a lot of damage, not necessarily always picking up the frags, but definitely always being a constant threat. Gonna find Pleb, though. Some really great play from him and Immune, and they're gonna manage to start to move this fight in this favor, and especially when Rorezu finds shotgun blast like that into Razon's face.
Darius Kilo doing his best to stay on point. We see Scrooty on the left side, like you're saying, just laying down the pain, and Darius Kilo will be finally taken about Aresu. Those shotguns have been extremely effective this last fight.
Yeah, no, they certainly have, and it's because they deal so much damage in these very brawly fights, because both teams are just getting up in each other's face. Other than, I think, Immune and Scrooty, everyone on that team wants to be in people's face.
Yeah, Gibbs has been doing a great job to create those brawly fights by almost creating like an MMA cage.
Yeah, no, and they've just split them off so much. This ultimate, though, coming out from Daria, Immune, gonna find that back into play, but the Transcendence is forced out from Scrooty. That Diva Bomb is gonna find nothing, unfortunately, but gonna see the rematch come out.
You see Rayson fly through the air, pull up the hook mid-air, not going to do much to Eraser, he's just going to go in for the ride, and finally Xbox will be pulled in, and again Eraser with those shotguns buffs and Daria will go down.
Some really good hold, but they did force out the Supercharger. Some good dry pushing coming out from the red team. Perhaps a little bit of a well-intended ultimate coming from Darius Kilo, but it didn't really achieve too much.
No, could have been brilliant, but in this case it was a bit of a, how do you put it, a dud. Rayson been pulled in here, not great for the enemy team. Not quite a good enough wall, and Rayson pushing in with a whole hog.
It's going to go down pretty quickly because Scrooty's dealing so much damage. This Blizzard is also going to stop everyone dead in their tracks, and that's certainly what Darius is if it weren't for that brilliant shield coming up from Xbox.
Fat Fingered doing an amazing job with their ults right now. Managed to keep Immunes and Roresu's up here, only using Blizzard to prevent this push from happening. So the communication of this team is top notch at the moment, really.
Yeah, it certainly is, and Gibbs is doing some really impressive work on this mate.
So we're going to see them maybe take off this left side. Pleb has got ultimate in this situation, and they've got Coalescence. Managed to get the whole team in here, rushing onto point, going on the side. Lovely shadow going on to Gibbs there, but won't quite take him down. Swankenstein going out of the fight already, and Scrooty is down as well. That's no more healing for Lewd Pencils here as they push onto point.
Yeah, that was a really nice wipe, and with Immune going about to go down here, he's gonna just run into the point, trying to stall out a little bit longer, get a little bit more time, but they're now gonna have to push on to the second point.
I love the little hello emote as he came onto point. Hello and goodbye to you too, Immune. Do have 44 minutes 55, which is a really nice time on the second point here. They're going to rush straight on. No questions asked. Straight onto point here. Swankenstein up top. They haven't had much time to position. Rayson will take down Scrooty here, but Pusnik and Rayson going down in this first fight. Not too good for Lewd Pencils.
A really nice bomb from Darius Kilo, taking out Backup for Life and their Supercharger. But it's going to end quite badly for them in the end because of how much damage is coming out from Immune and Scrooty, as you said.
Yeah, really nice switch off on Immune. Knew they were going to push on to fight and needed that second shotguns. I mean, as if Erasu shotguns wasn't enough, you got two Hellfire shotguns backing him up as well as.
Yeah, Immune is relatively close to his ultimate. If he finds a couple more meaty shots, it's going to be right up there.
So we see Rayson picking up the Widowmaker here, maybe going to try and get a pick onto point before they push in, because as I've seen so far, this quick and aggressive engagements haven't been going too much in their favor.
Gibbs certainly looking to dive onto this point as soon as people move on in, but he's going to have to try and start dealing with this Widow, which is on the side. Interesting ult from Immune is going to find both of those supports, and that's going to set them up for a reset, but it's not going to be a super hard force. Wow, they're not resetting? Yeah, they are.
Nope.
Yeah.
Continue to fight. A little bit strange there. We're going to have Xlox trying to position himself onto point, but is going to back off now. I think this whole like sticking to one place, maybe they need to split up a little bit as they come into point, because the moment we have Gibbs there with the Tesla cannon, Ressa with his shotguns, and as well as Immune. Immune will pick up the soldier here, really smart, has used the Death Blossom and now can restabilize on point and maybe pick up a different position where he can fire off his auto rifle from.
Xbox definitely trying to find a way to get in behind here and pick up onto those supports, but has that ultimate, but drops it just as the Transcendence come out. Scrooty with some brilliant timing, going to save his team and pretty much turn that fight. Primal Rage coming out from Gibbs as well. Going to finish off the... Oh, doesn't quite finish off the Ana.
Going to just push him out the fight really here, saying this is my house, get out. Didn't have a great push there. Xlox kind of whiffing his bomb. Scrutiny making a really nice transcendence, but that Earth Shadow really cost him that fight when it maybe waited for him to get onto point rather than doing the Earth Shadow from the stairs, because you've got a very small line of sight from there.
Yeah, interesting usage of that, but I'd say it's definitely not Rorazu's house. I'm pretty sure it's Hanzo's house.
Yes, I would agree, but Race's taken residence just this once.
Yeah, we're going to see Back of Her Life looking for a good opportunity to use result. Not the greatest place to use it in these small halls. Going to survive. Oh man.
Yeah, especially with Fat Fingered Ult, they've got Gibbs, they've got Darius Kilio, and Back for Life, sorry, and Swankerstein on this left side, and then you got Scrooty and Immune on the top side. Not much room for Darius Kilio to use his ult here. Pusnik might be able to get Pleb onto point with the Ana ult, and then they might be able to go from there with the Grav. I'm hoping to see that in this next fight, but the moment they keep trying to push this losing battle on the stairs.
It's looking good for them so far. They've found a couple of shots coming out from Razon on this McCree, and he's almost at his ultimate. That's a good ultimate, picking up probably... Yeah, there we see Scrooty and Gibbs both go down. That's exactly what you need. And with Razon finding Frankenstein, that's looking like a really good push for them. They just need one pick.
Does come out here. Daria will manage to dodge it with the Shadow Step. They're really nice. Aresu getting out of position. Immune on top. Has the ultimate go down, but will take out two. Takes out Pusnik, takes out Ixlos, and Rayson included. That's a really nice hold there from Immune there.
Yeah, Immune absolutely turning that fight around. It looked so terrible for his team, and now he's forced out so many ultimates from the blue side, and Fat Thing's all in a really good position now. It was looking so dire.
Yeah, he managed to dodge that grab from Darius Kill at the beginning by backing down the stairs, and then they just ignored him for the rest of the fight. Came in at the very end once they'd left the top ground, and then just went from there.
Yeah. Gibbs has his ultimate. He's going to be the only one on this team who actually has it in this next fight. Maybe Frankenstein will pick it up if this fight goes on enough, but we're going to have to be watching out for this ultimate from Axelox. That could be the big key to turn around this fight.
Definitely. Pleb does have Ursha as well, so this next fight is going to be key. This will be determining who wins this game and who doesn't.
Yeah, Rorazu looking for a hook, almost takes Pleb off, but doesn't quite manage to land the hook as the rest of his team starts to dive on. A really disappointing shatter coming out from Pleb there, and it's going to maybe lead to his team losing, but they're managing to find so many picks with every single member of their team that it's looking really good for them. However, it's going to be Gibbs stalling this out.
Aresu just on the side here. Gibbs again with the primal raise, doing his best to keep them up. Might go down here. The grab actually comes out. We'll take out Immune. This might be what they need. Frankenstein tries to get on the point, tries to get the res off, but will get smacked in the face and taken down. And that will lock it out for Lewd Pencils there.
Yeah, now it's 2-0 to Lewd Pencils. Looking really strong. They've managed to beat the times that are been set by the other team both times. And it's been absolutely brilliant.
Pleb not doing the best Earth Shatters this game, but have to be. I mean, this one was pretty amazing. You have to admit.
It's the classic thing when you say that something's lacking and then it automatically shows what a good version of that.
Overwatch really screwed me over there a little bit, but whatever. But yeah, but Pleb's not. His Earth Shatters on the second point, they were a bit lackluster, but we saw Daria and Pusnik. They just kept everyone alive in that second point. I was almost certain that Pleb was going to go down as he was walking on, but then Daya and Pusnik came in, popped down the barrack grenade, and just let Daya just heal him up from behind. So some really nice healing going on all around on Lewd Pencils. Just going to have to hope for that to continue into the next games.
Yeah, and I believe the next... What's the next map? It is... let me just check. It is Ilios. Ilios, I'm really excited from that. We saw some really great Ilios matches yesterday, and they were really exciting to watch, and there's a lot of things that can go on there. Right.
Yeah, Ilios, there's a lot of things that can happen, a lot of things that don't happen. You've got a lot of opportunities for boops as well, which is nice, but it's not what we're here for, because if you can position correctly on the right side of the map and push in, especially with a McCree with those flashbangs, you can create a lot of space for your team. If you can scatter them, then the point usually flips in your favor.
Yeah, no, it is up to the team to actually get that scatter down, and that'll be sorry, did I say scattering the enemy team using those tanks. The tanks are very key here, and I think we're probably going to see Rorezu back on that Roadhog, though. And it's going to be up to mainly Gibbs, or if they're running a triple tank, we might see, I think it was Baka on the D.Va as well. So we'll be seeing Gibbs and D.Va trying to make that dive if we're seeing triple tank come out from Fat Fingered.
Yeah, we saw some really nice self-destructs on Baka. Very nice zoning tool that he uses there. I'd like to see them come out a bit more often, where he makes actually self-destructs that do get some kills off. Unfortunately, positioning from him and Pleb on the enemy team, some really nice shields that he pops down to protect his team. You see Raresu, like saying he's picking up the fire on this map. We know it's great, but we also know Rayson is an incredible Widowmaker, which could negate anything that Raresu is managing to do on this map.
Yeah, Rayson is a very good Widowmaker, and when you say it, like, put it like that with this map, it's just going to be absolutely disgusting unless Raresu is on his face the entire time.
Yeah, definitely. You do have Gibbs, though, and Genji for Baka for life, which is going to create a lot of... I would say pressure on Rayson and his team mainly to keep him alive. If I think Xlox and Darius Kilo can make some good pushes in the front, it could distract them long enough for Rayson to start picking up those frags. Can we get a pause, please?
I'm not the pause man.
Oh yeah, you aren't the pause man because someone hasn't left the game again.
Yeah.
For some reason it always goes to you. I don't know why.
It's because everyone likes me. It's because they understand that as a professional, I should be the one to host the lobby.
You should be the leader,
Yes,
obviously.
Obviously.
You're the man on production. We've got Rock producing today and casting, so give some shout outs to him because he does a great job of doing both at the same time. Quick shout out to AEO. We just became Twitch affiliates. Yay! So you can actually spam chat with emotes and stuff.
If we had emotes, I don't think we do.
If we had emotes, but we don't have them quite yet.
Do we have any emotes? If you do, we do. I think it's Matt's on the AEO GG account. You can spam them because you have the subscription for this channel.
Yeah, please spam them. We'd love to see some love in chat. But yeah, also shout out to Broadcast. They do a lot of promoting. Broadcast.gg. You can join the Discord over there. We've got Mushu Beef, a really great admin, and the rest of the staff over there. We'll answer any questions when it comes to broadcasting. And if you want to get some casting practice, do stuff like this, definitely join in. They always have stuff going.
Mm-hmm. And if you want to see some really good observing, he is absolutely brilliant. And he has a really good video on how to do it, which I have watched, and it helped me a lot. There's a couple of things which I still need to work on from that video, but hopefully I'll be able to give you all a good view.